We have had a doozy of a day.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Johnny! Welcome to the Horror Basement, a Tennessee Horror News production. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny. We got Jim Jam over there producing the shit out of this thing. We got our local horror expert,
Jim Jam here.
Yeti.
Jim Jam here, trying.
Yeah, what are you doing, Jimmy?
I don't fucking know.
And we're serving up horror all over the land like biscuits and gravy. Yes, we are.
Or salmon and cottage cheese.
Salmon and cottage? No. Fried salmon and cottage cheese?
Sorry.
So weird. Anyways. No, it probably isn't. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's safe. Thank you for listening. As always, we're doing these videos, and you can go check it out on YouTube if you like. Jim Jam's cutting them down to segments further on in the week.
Yeah.
Right, Jim Jam?
Yep.
So you can check out the segments of it if you so choose to do. And as always, before we get in any further, TeePublic, we have merch. And if you use Horror Basement Podcast 30, don't tell anyone, and don't tell TeePublic, but you get $30 off your order. Shh.
So you know what that means? You order one shirt, it's free. Pay shipping only.
Order a shirt, add the buttons to it. If it's under $30, you pay for shipping.
Yep.
Can't beat that.
That's
Or
a
you can
ball
order
of shit
three.
right there.
You can order 3 shirts, you get $30 off.
Just whatever you want to do. You can order 10 shirts and still get $30 off.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
You get a pillow, a shirt, a throw.
A fucking mask.
Yeah, man, $30 off.
We got cocaine. We got guns. $30 off.
No, that's a lie. That's a total lie. Horror Basement Podcast 30 is the promo code. Please use it. Please help us. Share it with your friends. We got some good designs. If you got suggestions for a t-shirt design, let us know, because we could throw it up there. I mean, you're not getting any royalties off it. You ain't making no fucking money off of it. We just put it up there for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a fun show. We got some news. We're going to talk. The movie of the week is Blood Quantum, and we're going to talk Indigenous people in horror. Correct, Yeti?
Yep.
This was Yeti picked Blood Quantum this week. And well, we got anything else? Nope. We'll just roll into the news because I was thinking. Oh no, we do have something else. I knew
Questions.
I knew we had something else.
Yeah.
I don't have a list in front of me because all these news topics. Jim Jam has the guy's name. Who was it, Jim Jam?
Black and White Fright.
Black and White Fright.
Yeah.
If someone wants to give you $1 million, what was it? Would you chew teeth for $1 million?
It's a handful of 10 human teeth. Would you eat them for $1 million? You have to chew them a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit? Because, see, that's the key.
Yeah.
And I don't... Just make the noise like you're chewing on them.
Look, you would need the $1 million just to get your teeth fixed. At least I would.
Well, no. He didn't say you had to chew hard.
Yeah, you don't have to, yeah.
See?
You ain't got to chew them hard. Just
I
got
thought you
to
had to eat them. You don't even have to eat them?
No. Well, yeah, you gotta eat them. Just you ain't gotta crunch down on them hard. Just kind of like clank, and then just swallow.
He didn't specify that I had to break them up in my mouth.
Yeah.
He said chew them a little bit.
He said chew them a little bit.
Yeah,
I
no.
know it is. Like, you
Here's
gotta,
the question, though.
eat them.
Here's a better question. Are these teeth just being pulled out of somebody's mouth?
So they might have blood on them?
Yeah.
Extra flavor.
Ooh.
Meth mouth.
Meth mouth. Oh.
Meth mouth teeth.
$1 million is still a lot of money.
We said break apart easier.
I was about to say that you could actually chew those. Yeah.
Ew,
Yeah.
God.
Oh, you imagine how bad they would taste, though?
Would the rot?
That's $1 million.
Would the rot have a bad taste though?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a bad smell at least.
Yeah,
Well,
they do have, yeah.
But with $1 million, I could spend $30,000 to get my teeth fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to specify. Is this like somebody who's all grimy and hasn't brushed their teeth in 20 years, or is this just regular nice ass white teeth? You know.
That's what I was saying. Old meth mouth teeth.
I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm down. $1 million.
Yeah.
Fucking, like tax-free $1 million. I gotta stipulate $1 million tax-free in a fucking duffel bag, small unmarked bills. I ain't none of it going to the government.
This is probably a little too much information, but if somebody's offered to give me $5 million tax-free, I will eat one of either my cat or my pug's shit for $5 million. So yeah, I'd eat.
I thought she was going a totally different route and be like, I would eat one of my animals. What?
Hell no.
The fuck have we gotten off on here?
Like raw or cooked?
Cooked shit? No.
No, I mean animals.
Oh.
No.
I'm over here like,
that wouldn't happen.
Shit? Who's cooking shit to eat? I'm going to boil it for safety.
Yeah.
Deep fried.
I'm going to boil this shit for safety. Put it in a sous vide. Put it in a bag, zip, fucking vacuum.
Hey, put some corn dog dough on it and deep fry it.
No. Couldn't happen.
That sounds horrible.
Oh, wait.
I don't know, and the $5 million eating shit. I mean.
Yeah, but it's my animals. I know their brand. I know what I'm feeding them. Fine, whatever.
Friskies, canned food.
I mean,
oh Lord.
Just put it in same stipulations. Put it in your mouth and just a couple of chews. I do it for $5 million.
Yeah,
they swallow.
Wouldn't even think about it. Hell, I'd swallow it. $5 million? Yeah, I'd eat a dog turd. Be all right. I don't. Let me get that fucking money.
I don't think you would be all right. I think you'd get worms or some sort of parasite.
Well, I'd have money to pay fucking medical bills.
I'd lose weight then in the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, one of them brain parasites.
I think just one little turd, you're going to be okay.
Okay, anyways, let's move on. We're all eating teeth for $1 million or chewing on them. We done fucked up his question.
Sorry.
Changed it to our way.
We soiled it. We fucking soiled it.
The next question from Alex, what do we think about Kevin Bacon playing Freddy Krueger?
Whoa, no. I thought we was doing the trailer reaction.
Is that not what it is? Oh,
no.
That's what we were talking about this?
Yeah, go ahead. We won't do the trailer reaction.
When is Kevin Bacon playing Freddy Krueger?
No, that's the this rumor has been going on a while that Kevin Bacon would play Freddy Krueger, would don the makeup and everything in the glove, and oh my God, why is my mind going blank? The guy that plays Freddy Krueger.
Robert Englund.
Yeah, good God. You just talked about him. Yeah, I know. Fucking just hit me up in the fucking comments. I suck. Said that he would like to see him play Freddy Krueger. And I think this is like a thing that's been going on for years. I remember seeing something about this a long time ago. And it's making its way back around the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because Kevin Bacon, his body type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He would fit the body type of Krueger.
Yeah, and he has that fucking rat face, kind of. He's got a very angular features.
Yeah. He would fit the character.
Yeah.
I don't know
and
how
he can be fucking... He can be menacing. You guys remember Hollow Man?
Yeah.
That dude's got... Yeah.
What do we call that movie? Anyways.
But do you guys really want to see another Freddy movie?
Fuck no.
I'd watch
What have
really
it.
they
don't.
made? What could they do with Freddy though? Because like
If they did do it, I would like to see a more realistic burn face. I don't feel like that's a realistic look, even though it's iconic.
Did y'all ever hear about that Nightmare on Elm Street movie that fucking was ruined by Adam Sandler?
Mm-mm.
Real shit. They were pitching a film where it would kind of cover between Freddy Krueger's death and his fucking journey into hell and how he became like like went through hell and became this fucking dream demon and came back to Earth and kind of pick up kind of in towards the beginning of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But they pitched this movie like right after Little Nicky. And it was going to be like the same company. And they were like, we just had Little Nicky that took place largely in hell. And we don't want to tread that same ground over again. We don't want to, muddy the waters with it or whatever. So they shelved it indefinitely.
Wow.
Because Little Nicky was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say that premise actually sounds interesting. I would want to see that done right and scary, not funny. I don't want to see funny Freddy Krueger. I mean, I would want to see, scary and more serious, I should say.
Yeah, like the first couple. Yeah. I do like the scarier Freddy.
Because that's the thing. Like, if you try to reboot it, then you're trying to start the story over. But then you can't really start the story over, and you can't start it like Halloween did, where they, erased all of them besides the first one. Because the other movies were good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like a prequel, kind of.
Yeah, like, there's just, I don't know how you would continue that story. Truly. Unless, I don't know. But Kevin Bacon as Krueger, it wouldn't bother me. I mean,
there are worse choices.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. What do you mean, yes?
I mean, if you get Adam Sandler to do it, that would definitely be worse.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. I mean,
Adam.
I think people would go, though, just to see what Kevin Bacon did for the character. Like, how he changed it, or...
Yeah, and it wouldn't matter how good or bad it was, people would just bitch.
Yeah, I mean, even the remake that come out, people went and watched it, but they still hated it.
I tend to like my horror movies where they don't have to have lead actors. Like Tom Cruise in The Mummy. I feel like making it too Hollywood kind of kills it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it really
then they
does.
have to go in a certain direction and everything. I mean, I think there's just so much talent out there that probably doesn't really get a fair chance because you use the same people over and over. So I don't know. Hollywood has horror, I should say, has it's got a good crew behind it. I think you can really dig for some good stuff for some good people and to kind of fill it.
Well, that's the good thing about horror, though, is a lot of with the indie horror scene, you get more people brought up into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? More people can shine through that way and get caught on, catch traction. And speaking of some news, here's something from Bloody Disgusting. Behind the Mask writer and Tucker and Dale director join forces for Netflix's The Hills Have Eyes for You. And as everyone knows, we love Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yay!
Yeah.
One of my favorite films.
Great.
And Behind the Mask is really good too. I love horror comedies. I didn't name Tucker, just so we're clear. I didn't name him. When I got him, his name was Tucker.
Just a happy accident.
He named him after the hockey player for Toronto Maple Leafs years ago.
Yeah.
No clue. it was Tuxer Tuxedo Cat. That's
I thought
how he
I
got
thought
his name.
I thought it was Tucker the fucker.
That's what I nicknamed him.
Okay.
But the woman that named him, she's like, well, he's a tuxedo cat, so I named him Tucker. So there you go. Just so we're clear on that. There's not much news on this, but apparently they're gonna make this film, and Netflix is getting it. So I'm pretty happy about it. I mean,
We'll check it out.
Yeah. One of the producers says, and this is as much detail as was given, is it's a unique underdog love story with genre-bending scares. Ooh.
whatever that means.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. When you start proclaiming gender-bending scares, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe people like Yeti and I have seen too much too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's genre bending, and oh, it's a unique love story. It's like, nah, I don't want to fucking. Yeah. I don't need my fucking horror movies to be a goddamn rom-com too.
Yeah, but
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with rom-com.
I see Tucker and Dale as kind of a love story, just not a romantic love story. It's two buddies, you know.
Or yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Some bromance. Yeah, bromance.
Yeah. And those are both great fucking movies.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'll check it out just because of the pedigree it's got.
Well, and plus it's on Netflix.
Check it out.
Whenever it comes out, it'll be on Netflix. So yeah, it'll be pretty much free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Netflix does put out some like good shit every now and then. Especially like horror comedies, you know, they do all right with those.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be hard because with them trying to attach, you know, Behind the Mask and Tucker and Dale to it, can't really compare it to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
Tucker and Dale was so good, in my opinion, my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's a great fucking movie, and yeah. And I mean, Behind the Mask was all right. I liked it well enough, you know.
Yeah, we had that as movie of the week a while back, a long time ago. I remember that.
I will say this. I'll recommend a movie if you guys haven't already seen it. It was surprising and so much fun, especially if you like horror comedies and you like The Omen. Little Evil.
That is a good fucking movie.
Great fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
Great movie. Yes, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it was an evil little kid.
It's just like The Omen, but it's actually it's really funny. It's pretty well done too.
Yeah.
I think I started that movie, but I never finished it.
Yeah, it's good.
I looked at it 100 times and was like, nope.
No, you should check it out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
Nope. I'm not sure. I don't have the timeline, guys. So I'm just throwing that out there. I don't have the
Velociraptor. The Velociraptor.
Well, I'll talk about these are all really short. Again, there's just not that much info. There wasn't that much horror info this week going on. Horror news. So Hellraiser is being rebooted by David Goyer and Sunglass Media Group. They've hired their own writers and directors already, and it will be Ben Collins and Luke Petrowski, and the director is going to be David Bruckner, who's also known for work on other horror stuff. They're going to stay loyal, but to the original, yet evolve the adaptation of the classic. So that's kind of where they went with that.
That VHS, is that what you said?
Yeah.
No. Right now I'm talking about Hellraiser.
Oh, that's not they're doing another one? Another fucking Hellraiser reboot?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I got a different article where Hellraiser remake is rebooting. Okay.
Hold on. I'm tying that all in.
Yeah.
Oh. Look at her. Fancy over here.
Well, I guess in related news, this is almost the same people. So the VHS is making a comeback with a reboot titled VHS 94. And it will be produced by the duo of Ready or Not. And it will have all new stories. And David Bruckner, once again, who directed the segment of the original movie, he's working on the script and will serve as a producer along with Simon Barrett. So the latest reboot is said to be the first in the series to be presented in a single fluid narrative with each section linking up. So
I don't know if I don't know, because that was kind of the charm of VHS, was all the little segments that really didn't have much to do with each other except for, it was a solid fucking anthology. I love those movies.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, what was it, 2, that had the Lilith chapter?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, it was so good. I don't know. You're coming in and you're changing the formula, making it a whole thing that all links together and yada yada. It's like, fucking just make a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need the VHS name to sell your fucking movie? Is that what it is?
Yep.
I just make a different fucking. If you're gonna come in and, I mean, it's not a super original concept. It's you find a collection of tapes and they're all fucked up and some bad shit happens in the wrapper. I mean, it's been done a million times. So just stay away from the series that's already there. Make your own fucking movie. But no, let's reboot VHS because it totally fucking needs it.
I don't know. We'll see. And then, in also more Clive Barker news, the books of Blood Stories, they're going to have a new adaptation of those tales, and they're heading to Hulu for Huluweenie celebration in October. So that anthology will premiere in October. And so the plot says that it takes a journey into the uncharted and forbidden territory through 3 tales tangled in space and time. So I don't know. We'll see. Might be interesting.
Books of Blood was good.
Mm-hmm.
I got on a kick like years and years and years ago and read a bunch of Clive Barker, and Books of Blood was really good. So I'm definitely gonna give this a shot. It'll be I can almost guarantee it'll be better than the fucking Into the Dark series that they tried to do.
Oh yeah, I was really bummed by those.
Yeah, they all sucked.
I was looking forward to them when they announced it, and then it was like, then I watched a couple of them, and then I was like, yeah, not really into these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was too. I was so excited. How cool to have a movie each month, and yeah, I feel like maybe the timelines are really short, but I felt like a lot of them, the stories were kind of weak.
And I get it, like you give directors a chance to make movies, you know what I'm saying, that wouldn't normally get to and all, but
absolutely.
I really thought that's what I was excited about. It was a dozen directors. You're giving them their crack, and they're getting a wide audience. You know what I'm saying? Because Hulu's, it's got plenty of fucking eyes on it, and definitely, when they start, I think they started in October. So I mean, you got everybody watching horror movies then, and you get them hooked, and it sounded like a really good premise. But like, man, I think after the Christmas one, I just stopped watching them because the Christmas one was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, we watched that one where the family was out in the middle of nowhere.
That was like I think Father's Day one.
Yeah, and the mother had died, and the little kids or something were after them. We had it as movie of the week.
I remember that.
I think the dad took the kids camping, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it broke down, and the entities wanted to take the children, and
it was just like a fucking cliche after cliche after cliche.
Yeah, the daughter was a typical teenager on her phone, mad at dad because the mom had died. And that whole, like you said, cliche. But like the one guy in here says he wonders why this Books of Blood wasn't a series instead of a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Hulu's could do a series of short stories, but they probably couldn't do it well. So that might be why.
Now, are they going to be animated, or is it going to be live action type? Don't we know? Yeti?
I don't. I think they're going to be live action. I didn't see anything about animation, but
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
It was live action.
I'll tell you, that'd be interesting animation, especially with Clive Barker's artwork.
yeah, I was thinking that like, I've said for a long time that whether in the new reboot of Hellraiser kind of made me think of it too. The final kind of book in that whole saga it's called the Scarlet Gospels.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking incredible, and I'd love to see it turned into a movie, but it would have to be animated. There's no way you could do that live action and do it justice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you did you guys see the Castlevania series that they did on Netflix?
It's on my list. I still haven't had a chance to watch it.
No, I haven't seen it.
I think if they did that art style though.
You think? I was thinking either that art style, which is what you would expect.
Yeah.
Or even like what they use in video games, because I love the interludes. They look so real, and that would be a really neat way to even do it. I think that would. I think it would really merge the best of both worlds in a sense.
Yeah.
For people who are like, I don't really want to watch like an anime type style or something, but yet those are so realistic that I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, like a motion capture.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what the price difference is on them.
Probably a lot.
I don't know.
Just out of curiosity. We'll move forward with Velocipaster.
Oh man,
this is Yeti's scene.
I am so glad this movie's getting sequels. I fucking love this movie so much. It could have been sleazier. Personally, I think it could have been sleazier. But outside of that was like my only complaint for the whole movie.
I knew I was in for a trip because I watched it the other day after I saw this, and you said, "Oh, it's good. You got to watch it." And right away, the very first scene where the priest steps out and they show his parents, and then all of a sudden they get killed, and it does the effects, like insert effects here.
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off. I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, it's definitely one of the Velocipaster is so fucking fun.
Well, it's getting 2 big budget sequels, and when anything says that it's getting 2 big budget sequels, and you haven't made the second film yet,
Who's backing this then?
The budget is only 1.5 to 2 million. That's
but you don't know if it's gonna, like, the sequel could just bomb. You know what I'm saying?
They already have it. So for they talked about the next sequel, which is going to be called Outback Dracula, set in the land down under. It takes place in 1880 Australia, where a psychic lesbian school teacher teams up with the world's greatest adventurer to find her missing girlfriend and defeat Dracula and his golden army of the undead. Hello, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, fucking hey, it does.
So,
I guess if you're a raccoon and all that.
I mean,
I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Because you're not really, what are you expecting for something like this,
Oh, yeah.
And
I guess, like you said, it's going to be a $1.5 to $2 million budget, so he's ditching as they put it, the spirit of Halloween looking costumes. And going to go like big budget, or not big budget, but like real deal. Try to have really good, nice costumes and features and everything. Which $1.5 to $2 million, you should be able to do a really good film.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
And especially in horror. And if you go above that, a lot of times they just waste the money.
Yeah, and you go above that and you risk getting like studio notes on shit. and
Yeah.
and you get fuckers who don't know what they're doing or don't understand the craft, putting their hand in the pie or whatever. So.
Well, I
Yeah.
like that it's going to take place in the 1880s. That's kind of fun. I'm always a fan of period pieces.
Yeah, that should be fun. And in Australia too. Australia's just fucking cool.
Yeah.
And there's just. I hope there's emus in it. I really do.
Say emus?
The emu. Yeah, the emu war.
Oh.
You guys have ever heard of the emu war? Okay, well, like I don't remember when it was, but it was a long time ago in Australia. They had a bunch of fucking emus, like these big ass like birds. They're almost like ostriches. They're just overrun with the fuckers. So they called in the Australian military to come and like fight a war against these fucking emus, and they lost. They were getting fucked up by these birds.
You making this shit up again, Yeti?
Absolutely not. That is 100% true history.
That's justifiable versus, like a little Frenchie dog and being mauled and killed by a Frenchie.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or a dingo.
A dingo?
Yeah, they eat babies.
Dingo took my baby.
Well, the last two stories, I have to say I'm personally very excited about. So,
which two stories do you have?
What do we got?
George Romero.
Okay, that's what I was about to go to.
Yeah.
George A. Romero's long-lost film, The Amusement Park, is being sold by Yellow Veil Pictures. So this film has been 46 years after it was completed. The George A. Romero Foundation restored it to 4K.
Beautiful.
And they're going to release it, but it has nothing to do with horror, from what I read. But it's scary. They said that it's probably one of the scariest films he made because of the content of it.
I was going to say, probably the commentary that he has. Well, his movies
it's about ageism and elder abuse.
Yeah, it's ageism and elder abuse and just seeing someone, get older and how they're treated.
Well, for those of us who are, getting older, it is scary.
It says the amusement park stars Lincoln Mazel is an elderly man who finds himself disoriented and increasingly isolated as the pains, tragedies, and humiliations of aging in America are manifested through roller coasters and chaotic crowds. It sounds like it'd be fucking dark.
The other thing is it's 1973, which is the 70s are my favorite era for horror. So I love the look, the feel. I'm sure it's going to feel even raw,
Oh yeah.
So I'm really excited to see this movie.
And here's another fact: the film was originally commissioned by the Lutheran Society to raise awareness about ageism and elder abuse. And to me, that's funny with these people hiring filmmakers to be like, we need you to make a propaganda piece. Put it in a film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And George is probably like, I just want to fund my movie.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, you pay me? Okay.
And then the Lutherans saw what it was, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not putting this out.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of...
nobody's seen it.
There's some old, like, Christian propaganda movies that are fucking... Like, man, I can't remember the name of the pastor, and there's like this crazy fucking evangelical pastor, and the guy he's got directing his films is a exploitation director from the early 70s, and it's movies like, like if running tires you, what will horsemen do? Or if footmen tire you, what will horses do? And it's about the communist, anti-Christian takeover of America. And it's just fucking communists coming in and gunning down, like, just streets full of children and shit.
Yeah, it's all propaganda stuff.
Oh, like man, it's fucking nuts.
Everybody, yeah.
But I mean, that's interesting. It'd be cool to see that in film. It'd be really cool to see it in like in a smaller theater, not like you know what I'm saying, like an AMC, but
Yeah.
like a local one, like
your
Full
art house.
Moon.
Yeah, Full Moon
Yeah.
Cineplex.
Yeah, like for us, Full Moon Cineplex or somewhere like Yeti. The one place.
Like Central Cinema.
Yeah,
Or
you know.
the Chicago Music Box would be
Yeah.
perfect, and I'm sure they will show it because it's more art house.
Yeah,
Or like a Alamo Draft House or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere like that where. And speaking of that, the cinemas are opening back up. Theaters are opening back up July the 10th for Regal here, and at least what I got was July the 10th. And AMC's opening up a week after. So Unhinged will be the first movie shown at Regal. That's starring Russell Crowe, and it's a road rage movie.
Hell yeah.
So I'll be going and watching that. If anybody cares, nobody cares. Okay, fuck y'all.
I haven't heard of it. Sorry.
I hadn't either until they sent me the email, and I was like, well, what's going to be showing? Oh, okay. Well, that's the only movie showing. Therefore, I'll have to go watch that movie. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't really got an option.
Yeah, fuck it.
Tucker, stop. Sorry. He's in the sink.
He likes to drink the water. My cats do that.
No, there's a plate in there. He's messing. He's goofing off. He's usually not up this late. This is what it is. No, he's not hungry.
Don't yell at me. He is too.
Not hungry. He's got dry food over there. Are we moving? Bruce Campbell working to get versus Frankenstein film made. This is from iHorror. So, you know more about this, Angela, than I do.
Well, right now, Bruce, one of his partners, Mike Richardson, they're going to start with a graphic novel first and hope that catches on of Bruce versus Frankenstein. And then Bruce has said he's going to adapt the screenplay. And so they're going to try selling a number of the projects. And since his friend Mike Richardson has, I should say, sold a lot of projects to Netflix, that's where they're going to start. So they're hoping that they'll create a buzz with the graphic novels, and then they can turn it into something, and somebody will buy it. And I think it's brilliant, and I'm absolutely down for it.
What do graphic novels sell for nowadays? Like $3?
What's that?
A graphic novel, do them sell for like $2.95 or is it like $3.95?
No, graphic novel is like a full one. They're $25 to $35.
Yeah, just depending. Like
you're thinking like a comic book is like a single issue. A graphic novel could contain a whole series or a whole big story. They're great. That's what I collect. Are graphic novels.
Yeah, I have a hard time collecting comic books because you have to wait. You know what I'm saying? Like you're waiting for each issue to come out.
That's what's great about the graphic novel.
I have a hard time with that. Yeah, I'd rather do a graphic novel. Yeah.
What is it? Iben Press?
Do what?
Yeah. There's a company called like Iben Press or Aben Press. It's EIBON. They do a bunch of like horror comics and graphic novels and shit. They got some pretty good. They got some great shit with some decent prices. Why?
Everyone's got cats that are just like, why are you doing this so late?
He always sounds so sad.
Lucas Two Legs is out cold, sleeping behind me. So, and my other cats are in bed sleeping.
Yeah, this is a work night for me, and usually I'm in bed by now. So Tucker's not usually up this late. He's not up with me this late. I can tell you that. I don't know what he fall asleep.
He's just trying to eat some leftovers, and his dad's yelling at him for it.
Yeah.
What's good enough for his dad isn't good enough for Tucker, apparently.
Well, and cat food, He gets one whole can of cat food, and he
Do
has
you want to
dry
eat
food.
cat food if you could have leftover yummy human food?
Oh, he wouldn't eat what I have.
One of my
No,
cats
really.
is obsessed with French fries. He'll steal a French fry.
He hates French fries, but he likes pork rinds.
We
Yeah, he
have
likes pork rinds, but he does not like French fries. I've tried.
one that eats pretzels. He fucking loves pretzels.
I don't even like
like,
pretzels.
like if you open a chip bag, he could be across the room asleep. If you open a chip bag, he is up and fucking headed your direction.
I had
I
a cat and Persian, a white Persian, and I had sweet and sour chicken. And I set my plate down. I went to the kitchen, and I came back and it was completely gone. And her face was all orange. She
Oh
ate
my
the
God.
whole thing. I'm like, wow, rice and all.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. She did me like
He
that.
does. He likes Doritos.
I do want to add before we move on from the Bruce versus Frankenstein.
Yeah. I was
that
going to
he
go
said
back.
Sorry.
that he said it would be the Expendables of horror.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was the line that fucking killed me.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
was
hope
the
it's not
line
Death
that
House
killed
all
me.
over again.
Yeah. What was the
Which-
other movie that was trying to do the Expendables of horror? Oh fuck! What was that other movie? It was like
It was a
they were
low
trying to
budget
use that
movie,
same- yeah, trying to use the same tagline. It's like,
and they
stop
didn't
using-
have hardly anybody in it.
Yeah, because when Death House come out and it was like the Expendables of horror, and everybody was like, well, why ain't Freddy Krueger in this? And why ain't Jason in this? That's not what the fucking Expendables was. You didn't see Rambo, Jason Statham's character from fucking
Crank.
Crank, or what's that other movie?
The Transporter.
Yeah, the Transporter in that motherfucker. It just killed me seeing shit like that. Angela, did you watch that movie?
Watch what movie?
Death House.
Mm-mm.
You haven't
Maybe.
seen that?
Maybe I had.
It's a couple years old.
Obviously, you would remember
I'll
it.
look it up real fast.
Kane Hodder
I
stars
watched
in it.
so many horror movies. Yes, I think I did see it.
It would come on Netflix.
I will say the experience of watching that movie was better than watching the movie.
Watching a movie with Kane Hodder, that was really fucking fun, and then sitting there and talking to him afterwards was really awesome. And Kane Hodder did a great job in the movie, but the story sucked.
Yeah.
We've talked about that way too much over the years, but it needs to be talked about because they fucked it up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they fucking soiled it.
Me and Yeti actually have a poster signed by Kane Hodder.
I mean, you have a killer crew.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that you could possibly love is in it. Kane Hodder, Dee Wallace, Michael Berryman, Tony Todd, Adriana Barboa, Barbara Crampton, Sid Haig,
Bill Moseley.
Jesus, Bill Moseley. Yeah.
But some of them are only in it for like seconds.
2 minutes.
Seconds.
Yeah.
I know I've seen this. I have to watch it again. Even Lloyd Kaufman, that's great. Sean Whalen. Man. I'm going to have to double check and see if I've seen this.
Well, you'll probably, I don't know. We had a little series going. We was trying to interview all the actors in it, and we fell short quite a bit.
Sure.
Well, we fell short on Kane.
No, we didn't. There's quite a few more that we didn't get.
But, I mean, anyways, let's move on past that fucking movie.
Yeah.
We wasted so much time on that movie because we thought it was going to be really good, and everybody thought it was going to be really good, and then it came out.
And it came out, yeah.
And it,
Well, you guys told me it's on Netflix, so.
Oh, yeah, there you go. It's free.
I'll see if I saw it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Let's move into the topics. Indigenous people in horror, Indigenous filmmakers.
Yeah. it's really fucking okay, so representation, I feel like representation is important. Not to the detriment of creativity. I'm not for like forced diversity or anything, but it's always nice to see somebody who looks like you on screen. You know what I'm saying? It's always nice to see people who are from your culture, who are either behind the camera or in front of the camera, or are given a positive light to things. And there's a lot of like Indian exploitation in horror, from Old Chief Woodenhead, from the Creep Show. I think it's Creep Show 2.
Yeah.
You know,
Creep
with
Show
the
2.
fucking, which I mean, I liked that. I dug the fuck out of it. And then, you know, like Poltergeist is the Indian burial ground, as if this entire fucking country is not an Indian burial ground. And even in like Pet Cemetery, it's kind of alluded to, with the Micmac tribe and the Wendigo and all that good shit. Which the movie of the week, the director is actually Micmac, so that kind of lines up a little bit. But it's so rare to see positive representation of Native Americans.
Well, I don't even think
all.
it's so much positive. It's like you were saying,
Accurate.
the stereotypes from white people, you know.
Yeah.
As far as, oh well, he's one with the land and he must have wisdom. I think
that old noble savage trope, you know.
Yeah, and I think what is so great about actually hearing from a native, you know, an indigenous director from the same tribe, actually, you know, is the honesty that you get, or his version of the honesty. Because one thing that I think that this is one segment of the population who is very strongly not thought of in general at all. I mean, to me, this is probably one culture that has truly been ransacked. I mean, and just devastated. And what's left is a lot of anger, a lot of mental health issues, a lot of substance issues, just a lot. I mean, could you have your culture ripped away from you and your language and who you are? So there's a lack of identity or not fitting in with your culture versus the current culture, or how do you assimilate? And, you know, it's,
yeah, and up until like pretty recently, actually, like trying to keep that culture alive, even on a day-to-day basis, not even in a public eye kind of thing, but on a day-to-day basis in your home. I mean, that was fucking hard. Up until, you know, really fucking recently, like in the past, you know, few decades, they had residential schools where they would take Indian kids, and the whole plan was to kill the Indian and save the child. So they would beat them, they'd cut their hair, and they'd beat them when they spoke their language, and they'd beat them when they prayed, and anything that didn't fall in line with this colonialist fucking goddamn filthy Jewish desert wizard, they'd fucking beat them, and they'd beat them to death, and there wasn't anything anybody could do about it because that was just the law. And I mean, even
there was
now,
a lot of rape and
sexual
abuse, and
even now, like especially it happens a lot up north, like in Canada, in the northern U.S., like Indigenous women are murdered and raped at an astronomical rate, and it's never, like almost never investigated. There's Standing Rock Reservation made news a couple years back with the DAPL pipeline and shit. But like in that reservation, I remember when I was in college, one of our assignments was to do flyers to help with the fundraiser for them, because like on that reservation, people were freezing to death in their homes. Because like up there, it's so cold, and they didn't have heat. You don't have blankets. You don't have fucking heaters. I mean, it's so polar, and and there's like systems in place to keep that shit going. But I'm getting way off. I'm sorry. But it does lead to stuff like Blood Quantum. It's not a super sunshiny image of an indigenous community. It's a real image. That's like one of my favorite movies of all time is called Smoke Signals. It's not a horror movie, but it's almost like a coming of age story about a couple of Indian kids, and one's father dies, and he has to come to terms with that and stuff. And it's not a rosy picture, but it's a really real picture. It's based on the book The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven by Sherman Alexie, who's a brilliant indigenous author and like commentator, or not like a commentator, but I mean, all of his stuff is commentaries on indigenous life and culture in the current, and you don't see a lot of honesty, and you don't see a lot of positivity.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think, I think they're dealing with a lot, and I think until that gets addressed, and I'm sure it's a real slap in the face too, to always think, and no offense to Canadians, but it's always, oh, Canadians are such good, kind people, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, bullshit. I have another side of the story.
Yeah, unless
Again,
you're First
I'm
Nations.
overgeneralizing, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's even when you listen to the movie, or even the documentary that was done, that he credited to being a huge influence, the director. I don't have it right in front of me. I just forgot it.
The incident at Restigouche?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, when the prime minister was like, well, we gave you this land. And she's like, no, this is our land. And you're giving us a piece of it, It's like the audacity, even just sitting there watching it, or and telling them that they're not allowed to fish, and that's.
Could you imagine a reporter standing up to a public figure like that now? You know what I'm saying? Like, talking like the way and being allowed to talk that way to them.
Well, that was the director.
Shut down. Was that the director, the woman?
Wasn't that the director, or was
I think so. Yeah.
I watched it, but I didn't know who she was. You know what I'm saying? Because
she was
the way that it was cut and edited. But she was just like, you said that our can't have a culture, without a language or something. It's just like, dude.
Yeah, and it was like,
wow.
It was like, because a lot of treaties are based on these being sovereign nations. So they started talking about their sovereignty, and he was like, well, yeah, you can be sovereign, and up to a point. You have to really look at the definition of sovereignty that's being used. So I mean, ever since you people came to this country, but no, I mean, it's been fucking 400 something years of oppression. You know what I'm saying? It's still going on. So it comes out in the art. It comes out honestly in the art, and you don't see.
I don't know anything about the Canadian side of it, because I don't like the stuff that I've watched on YouTube and the clips and stuff. And it's here on reservations here in America, and they're poor.
Yeah, oh, very much so.
Like,
on purpose.
Very bad. Yeah, and they make it to where they don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there's no jobs. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why alcohol and everything is so rampant. And it's like there's no hope, and there's so much abuse, physical abuse.
I watched
against
one where they were doing metal music, and they had built the stage, and they would have a group of them would get out there and just play some like just really heavy ass metal music, and throw a little party together, and just it's really interesting to see that how they get along, and it's just and it makes sense, like, for directors and people that want to do film that are native. it's just like, well, where are you going to get it? You know what I'm saying? If you live on the reservation, how are you going to, you got to move away to get the funding and to get the contacts, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a shame, and nothing's changing though. Nothing's changing for them. It's not getting better.
No, it's definitely not getting any better. I have seen though, it's like this. There's currently, like over the past few years, there's this movement of people like my age and younger who are digging back into their heritage and trying to bring the culture back. Like there's a prophecy about after the seventh generation, the people of the land coming back and stuff. It was like a Sitting Bull's prophecy or whatever. I'm not super sure right now, but I mean, you see a lot of it, and it's because of that being tamped down for so long, that it's almost a way of a rebellion, and it's also like a betterment of self, and a really trying to find your identity,
To me, that way of life, though, to live with the earth and to not abuse it is way fucking better than what's going on now.
Yeah.
That way would have worked out a hell of a lot better than, capitalism gives you money, you know what I'm saying? But you're sucking the earth dry.
And it's not even just, living with the earth, it's living as a community.
Yeah, taking care of each other, doing what you got to do.
Well, like even the director even says that he views the earth as a life force.
Yeah.
Well, and we're taking everything out of the middle of it. You're mining the hell out of it. You're pulling stuff out, and you're putting it on top. What used to be inside the earth is on top of it. How long do you think this shit's going to last? Like it's going to have a negative impact in a way. You know what I'm saying? You can't continue to just take the stuff out of the earth and put it on top of it and be like, oh yeah, it's not going to get warmer.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Totally fine.
You got all this steel and rock out here now that used to be inside, now it's on top. So yeah, it's going to suck in the heat. That's just part of it, But I don't know.
But as far as like even just what kind of is messed up to me a little bit, hopefully I'm not talking out of sorts, but even the concept of the literal concept of blood quantum,
it's a very white concept.
It's a very white concept that was enforced by the whites, that, your blood, a fraction of your blood determines if you are qualified as, to be part of this tribe. However, each tribe determines how much of a percentage, what fraction you are. So I almost find it could you imagine one have to carry a card to determine if you fit in or not? And then, where like you have the black population, what do they say, that a drop of blood and you can call yourself black? The old adage for that. So with this, it's the tribe determines it, but I almost feel like that's also a way of it's a way of shutting out your members. So that's kind of a confusing thing for me to fully understand.
Well,
as well.
When it started, it was all about the rolls, the Dawes roll is what it's called, and you would come in and everybody would come in and register, which is caused a problem with like blood quantum now, because there were a lot of people who didn't go register. Because even though they might have been half, they might have been 3/4, they might have been full bloods, they didn't want to be on that roll. They didn't want to be under the eye of the BIA. They didn't want to be under the eye of the government,
Or they weren't even labeled correctly.
Yeah. So you got, so that's kind of dicked everybody, down, as you go. And I know I'm Western Band Cherokee, and not too long ago they dropped blood quantum because of the Freeman. because we would have it was kind of controversial, but they kicked the freemen out of the tribes because you had blood members of the tribe who were becoming too diluted to receive benefits, to housing, commods, like, and in certain places like per cap checks and shit, and then you had these descendants of freemen, our slaves, who were still getting the same benefits as full bloods, for forever. So they kicked them out of the tribe because if they were going to have to turn away actual members of the people, they were gonna turn them away too, because there's no way to prove their actual blood quantum. So
that's right. I remember now it being about financial.
And then the Supreme Court stepped in and said you couldn't do that. So then the chief came out and said, well, if we got to keep them in, everybody's in. If you've got ties to the tribe, then you're in. One drop of blood is enough to be in the tribe. That's I can't speak for other tribes, but that's kind of the politic breakdown on mine, or one of mine. But it's a very white concept that has been kind of adopted.
Yeah. And I can see why it's been adopted, but it's sad that it had to be adopted by the tribes.
Yeah. It is. I can see it both ways, kind of.
Yeah.
But it's to me personally, and I'm not like on a board or anything, but I think it's more about to me, it's more about the actual acceptance of your culture and your roots than it is what's in your fucking veins.
Oh yeah.
Because you can be you can be 3/4 of the way there, like 3/4 blood, and be a fucking apple and not know shit about your history. So I mean, some kid who's 1/64th is about that life. Is about the ceremonies and shit. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But should we start talking about the movie now, or did you have more you wanted to add?
No, I don't want to get too political. Let's go on with the movie.
All right, yeah. Let's move on to the movie of the week.
Or the movie of the week. Tonight on the movie of the week.
So how long were you out there for?
I lost track of the time.
Did you get bit?
This planet we're on is so sick of our shit. That's why the dead keep coming back to life.
You're immune. I'm not. What if my baby isn't either?
Run!
It's bad. Ninagasi.
I heard that you could cure bites here.
Ain't nobody immune here but us.
One of them could come in here and infect this entire camp.
Behind you.
You want to live?
Who says we're immune?
Adukja uksid hamo. Awenda sui lexiko.
Movie of the week, Blood Quantum, from 2019. Yeti chose this movie. from director Jeff Barnaby, also the writer of Blood Quantum.
Yeah, I chose this just because it was because it looked like I saw the trailer, I saw the cast. It was a largely indigenous cast. I actually I follow some indigenous like hip hop artists and stuff. Like big shout out to Dreezus Music and fucking Superman. And like they name dropped it. They were like, man, we just saw this. It's fucking amazing, you know. It's so good to see, you know, the representation and stuff. So that kind of made me want to see it. And then the trailer was just fucking dope. So so it's about the Red Crow Reservation, Micmac tribe. They're immune to a zombie outbreak. Well, all these the white townies start turning into zombies, and they have to like fortify their ground and try to kind of make decisions between putting up a wall and keeping people out, or being good Samaritans and trying to save the people, you know, the white people.
Yeah. Let's start off what everyone thought about it. How about that? Jim, what did you think about this movie?
Yeah, I thought it was really well made. Great gore. A lot of good gore.
Fuck.
Great gore.
You know, it's probably going to ruin for somebody, but a dude gets his fucking dick bit off. So, it's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was rad.
He was a sleazebag anyways.
Yeah. That dude was a fucking piece of shit. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was...
There's actually no nitpick of the week for me for this movie, so...
Holy shit, now that's saying something.
Yeah, I loved it. I liked it so much that right after I was done watching it, I watched his very first feature length, The Rhymes for Young Ghouls, and I really dug that one a lot. So it's on Amazon Prime for free if you have the membership, so I strongly recommend watching that one as well, if you like this. Really good. And my favorite gore scene, I love it when he tosses the zombie out the window and he's hanging by his intestines. They said did that. They said they had to do that scene over and over and over. He had to keep jumping out the window, the stuntman. It took them, I forget how many hours. I wrote it down somewhere. It was an insane amount of hours to do that one scene.
I thought the acting was good. The effects were good, but I didn't care for it. To me, this film, and 3 out of 4, you know, not everyone's going to like the movie. The representation was great, but the idea wasn't original to me, because World War Z did the same thing, where certain population couldn't catch the virus to become a zombie, but I don't know. But that was just me. Maybe it was the mood that I was in when I was watching the film. But like I say, for every film, you know, form your own opinion on it. You know.
Well, I think it helps to have a little bit of like knowledge behind it too, and I think that's what he was worried about, was something he's like, I got to throw in your face because I feel like a lot of people don't even know their own history, and he's referring basically to white people.
Yeah.
You know, so the point, I think, was in a lot of ways is that this movie was about the trauma and the grief, and not a single person, but the history of that anger and everything. And then it's not about the zombies so much. It's once again the white man and assimilating. That's the fears in the white man, you know, being overtaken by that. And the fish, you know, how and that being where it all started, and tying it in with the drawings too, I thought was really cool. I like the little where the earth impregnates the female, and poisons the earth, and I thought that was really cool, the symbolism there.
Yeah, those little cutaways were really cool.
Yeah.
I think my favorite gore scene was the chainsaw to the head.
Yeah.
That was really
that was fucking rad. That character was just so cool. It was just so few words, 90% of his dialogue was in fucking it was in his native tongue. And he was just there to fuck shit up. It was, like that little group of, that's another thing I liked about this is it kind of reminded me of movies like, it had kind of a feel in the beginning, especially like the first act kind of felt a little bit like Smoke Signals or like Dance Me Outside, because you have this dynamic of just tribal life, like res life, and you have this, and you're just kind of brought into this community, and you see how they interact and how different things are for them in their world, and how they interact with the townies and shit, like the white town that butts up against the reservation and stuff. So you really get that, and then after you're kind of in this community, then you start to care, and then it brings in more and more and more.
Months. So like the first half is 6 months before all hell breaks loose.
Right.
And I know I always bring this up, but Jeff Barnaby also did the composition and the score, and some of it was done live, like while they were filming and everything. And I loved the tone of it. I liked it. It was just kind of eerie but yet kind of tribal in certain parts. It was just a nice backdrop to setting the mood. But I did too. I love that first half, really getting to know. I liked the relationship. I loved the father of the chief, the police chief and everything, and kind of seeing what's going on and trying to understand the characters at first, and why is Lice also angry and so.
To me, and I know what y'all are saying about what he wanted out of the film, but I've seen all of it before. Like the relationship between the tribe and the town folk, I've seen it in movies. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing original to me. And honestly, I think I watched part of this movie and I don't remember. Because I was watching this movie and I'm like, have I not fucking seen this? Because like I was just constantly having the feeling that I had watched this before. And I don't know why, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I feel like I've seen this part. Like, I feel like I've seen this part. And maybe I turned on Shudder and it was on and I watched part of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I caught bits and pieces of it.
I'm starting to wonder because the past couple of movies you said that about.
Well, and it's just, I don't know. Like, to me, the story just didn't enthrall me personally.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen it before, and especially like movies with Native Americans and all that, but they have shitty relationships with the town folk. That's automatic.
Oh yeah.
That is fucking automatic. But now, it's not like I hated the movie. I'm not gonna say I hated it. It's a good movie. But the story to me didn't capture, didn't get inside me and be like, this is a really good movie. You know what I mean? Because it kind of drug out. I think it lasted a little bit too long.
Yeah, there was times that it could have been shorter. Some things could have been cut.
When I seen that it was an hour and a half long, I was like, okay, we'll watch it. No big deal. I'm
but
down.
It felt longer.
Yeah, and it was kind of like you could have like cut back some stuff. And the grandfather in this movie, he's a badass.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
I love
that dude. I loved his character.
You don't have to reload a sword.
Yeah, and I really like the characters, but just the story itself altogether just kind of was like, and we'll just get into it. The white people. You always have the group of people that bring in the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they brought the bad people in. Well, but we've seen that in movies. You know what I'm saying? Like. Where you got the one stupid naive person that brings in, which they happen to be. And it just so happened to be the I can't think of any other names. The cop's son, the pregnant
Joseph.
girl that was Joseph's girlfriend that's pregnant, who happens to be white. Her dumb ass brings everybody in.
Yeah.
But Lysol ultimately just releases them on him. He got pissed when he got his dick bit off. He lost his manhood. You know what I'm saying? And he blamed everything on the white people, which is true. They fucked everything up.
Well,
they did. Lysol's very angry.
He's very angry. I mean, there's something that went on with his mom that we don't know about from an early age. And I think he's just encompassing all the anger. It's not just about him. I think it's just he represents the anger in Indians.
Even when he got arrested, you heard his story, right? You know why he got arrested?
Yeah. Yes, that was so funny.
That was funny. Like, because it's like, and to me, it's like, well, they arrested him because he was native and he had blood on his face. Well, hell, he got the blood on his face.
He wasn't fighting.
No, he wasn't fighting. Well, he wasn't fighting with a person, like fist fighting.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
when you get to be my age, you done it on accident 100 times.
Yeah, but it, like I say, the characters and everything were great in the movie.
Oh man, the characters. Yeah, the story was kind of. I mean, I dug it because of like the subtext, but
yeah,
the characters for me was where it's at.
If there was like something that I could have read before, you know what I'm saying, to get into the mood, I guess, better, which I shouldn't have to, though, for a film, you know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be a precursor for you to ramp up to a film.
Well, no, it's kind of a, I mean, your subtext is it's just history, for me, personally, because, you have these white people that come in and fucking bring diseases.
Oh yeah.
This fucking everybody dies. So I mean.
Well, I definitely think the story, his first movie, the Rhymes for Young Girls, is really good. I think it's a little bit tighter. And it hits
that film and then moved on to this one. You know what I'm saying? To get a feel for who he is.
Well, I think what I like about it is he sticks with, how I said I like the first half of the movie the best. I feel like he really sticks to that. And the lead character is a female, and she's amazing in it. And just love her. And you see the shit she takes, and she can take it and she can give it back. And it's really, it's just a neat character. And they have such a strong female too. And really hold things together, and she's real smart, and it's just a really good movie. I liked it. Side note, I know that's off topic a little, but
no.
I think with this movie, my favorite scene was toward the end, and spoilers, of course, like every other week. Toward the end, where they're all gonna escape because shit's really hit the fan and the fucking zombies have overrun the community, and they're gonna get on this boat and go off, and then they all get on the boat except for the grandpa. He's like, I'm not leaving this land again. And he's just him and his fucking katana and like a horde of zombies. And it's just, and then that fucking music hits with that big spirit singing and the drums, and he's just chopping motherfucker. Oh, god damn it, that went so hard. I mean, that was one of the coolest scenes in a movie I've seen in a long time. Just from every aspect, everything really came together and locked right there in that scene. It was so fucking good. I also really liked the ending. It was kind of bleak and kind of abrupt.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
I like how it ended.
Yeah, I was fine with the ending to end it that way because, I mean, like, it's kind of sad, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole, life has been hard. Like, now that you say it, you know, if you take into account the effects that has been done to them, life's been hard, and that's how they've always lived, you know, making tough decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it all kind of ends with Joseph being able to like lean on his mom too. That's a big thing. You've seen a lot of literature, you've seen a lot of life in indigenous communities. You know, it's fucking a lot of times when Indian dads go away, they don't come back. You know, they fucking they disappear, and it's just, you know, your mother. And I mean, on a lot of levels, you know, like your blood quantum is traced through your maternal line, because you know you're connected there, and you know, and there's such a emphasis on strong women in these communities. So I think that really added to the ending there. Personally.
Well, just as a side note, I just thought this was kind of interesting. I was trying to find it real fast so I could get it exactly. But you know that where towards the end, the church and that whole scene with the graveyard and stuff, they went to that church. That's on their land. They went to that church and wanted permission. They said no. So they went to the archdiocese, who gave them permission, and then said, but you are not to go on the cemetery. And they just were like, fuck you. And then, you know, you see it. They film all over that place. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty rad.
But even now, I mean, look at, you can't go on your land, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
it is fucked up. Very fucked up. So Blood Quantum, go check it out. It's on Shudder. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, go check it out on Shudder. It's fucking, you know, Shudder's still like $5 if you don't have it yet. It's well worth it. There's plenty of good shit on there. Blood Quantum, to me, even if you just want a fucking zombie movie that's a little bit different than your run of the mill zombie movie, that'll take that box for you. There's plenty of gore. There's a little bit of humor, and I mean, if you are an Indian, you know, go check it out. I mean, if you're, you know, kind of into the culture or whatever, you can give it a shot. And while you're at it, go watch Smoke Signals.
Oh yeah.
Don't know where to find it, but watch it.
But we appreciate y'all listening. Make sure you go hit us up on all our social media stuff. If you're watching the video, you see it in the video. You know what I'm saying? Which is awesome. Jim Jam has been working hard on that. We hope you enjoyed this. And thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
And that's all we got, y'all. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Y'all take care now.
We have had a doozy of a day.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.